What is exit planning and why should you care if you're not planning to sell anytime soon? In this video, I'm going to break down what exit planning really means, why it's not just about selling your business, and how it helps you build value starting right now. We'll talk about why most business owners regret selling and look at how an exit planner helps tie it all together. Stick around because this might be the most important thing you do for your business this year. So, what is exit planning? To someone who is not familiar with the term, it sounds like it's all in a name. You plan for an exit. So, you plan the sale of your business, right? Wrong. While the sale of the business is something we keep in the back of our heads when going through the exit planning process, the first and foremost goal here is to build and preserve the value in your business. The sale comes once the business owner wants to harvest the value. Now, most businesses will end up selling up at the end of the exit planning journey. However, even if you're not planning on selling now, what exit planning does is it tells you how much your business is worth right now. In reality, not based on what your accountant tells you, not based on what your friend John tells you over a pint, it is based on hard, concrete evidence. So, how did exit planning come about? Well, for that, we need to move from the UK and look at the United States of America.
Thanks, Larry. So, if you look at that...
No, not now. About 15 to 20 years ago. Businesses have been bought and sold for as long as the corporate world has existed. But what they realized in the US was that many business owners did not know how to approach selling the business in the first place. As a matter of fact, lots of businesses would simply shut down because their owners felt that they could get 6-7 figure sums for it, but the business was worth nothing. That is someone's dreams crashing and burning and people losing their jobs, and that's really harsh after someone puts their blood and sweat into that business for 30, 40, sometimes even 50 years. And the businesses that did sell, well, they often left millions on the table. Business owners did not get paid as much as they could have if they had organized their businesses differently. Therefore, the first exit planners were often entrepreneurs who had been through that painful process themselves. They learned the hard way and they turned around to help others avoid the same fate. Eventually, this effort got formalized, and that's when Exit Planning Institute, or EPI, sprung onto the scene. I will hold my hand up and admit that I am probably biased towards it, as I am a member of the organization and a graduate of their program. Around 2017, the EPI did a survey of business owners in the US, and they found out that over 75% of business owners regretted selling their business. So out of every 100 owners, 75 were not happy that they sold. Not good. Here are some more stats. 2 out of 10 businesses that were brought to market did not sell at all. Not good at all. Well, turns out that a sale of a business for most people is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and they're not prepared for it. But just like any skill that you learn as a business owner, from scaling your business to hiring the right people, exit planning requires the right expertise and preparation. Think of it this way. You don't wait until you're ready to sell your house before you start maintaining it, right? You clean, you fix things, you improve the looks of it long before a sale. And the same logic applies to your business. What about the fact that 75% were not happy about selling enough? And is it all about the fact that they didn't get enough money? Well, here's where it got interesting. A lot of business operators were simply not prepared for life after sale, which is so bizarre, right? You worked hard, sold a business, enjoy your retirement now, sit around on the beach, sip pina coladas. Well, turns out that the rosy picture was not the reality, and many business owners found themselves bored to death with the fact that suddenly they weren't doing anything. And even more so, a lot of business owners realized that their hobbies were very costly and they could not be sustained for a long period of time after sale. Nowadays, if you retire at 65 or 70, you could easily have another 15 or 20 years ahead of you, if not more. And that requires some financial planning if you are retired. And so that is where exit planning came into place, and that's what it comes to address. That's what's called the 3 legs of the stool: your business, your financials, and your personal goals. You need to align them. If you don't align all 3, the stool falls apart. Over. Gone. But that brings me to my point about when to start exit planning. You might be watching this going, well, I have time, I'm not exiting anytime soon, I will have time to prepare. This is also an incorrect way of looking at it. The truth is, most businesses go through 2 main stages: startup stage and then the growth or scaling stage. Without going too much into it now, the best way to sum it up is a serious business buyer will identify your business's weaknesses, and those weaknesses mean a discount on the price that anyone would pay for it. Those weaknesses could mean that your business just isn't sellable. So as part of the exit planning process, we work backwards. We identify those weaknesses and address those by putting together, well, an action plan. As part of the action plan, we schedule in regular workshops with the owner and the team within the company to make sure that everyone is aligned, and regularly check the progress to make sure that we are on track to achieving the ultimate possible value, which is the goal that everyone works towards. And it all happens in iterations. After every 90-day sprint, we check in with the owner to see if they would like to consider exit options or continue building value. This is all part of what's called the value acceleration methodology. You continue working on your business, but we start to shift more of the focus towards building that value. If the business owner wishes to start planning the actual exit, we enter the last stage, where as an exit planner, me or another M&A specialist would help the owner put together the information memorandum and identify and approach best possible buyers for their business. Do you notice how I keep bringing up other specialists? Well, an exit planner is sort of like a conductor of the orchestra. All instruments are very important, even the triangle. But if no one is conducting the orchestra, then there will be no harmony, there will be no synergy. An exit planner is usually someone who can oversee the whole process and identify which specialist is needed where, and help the business owner make the decision as to when to engage which specialist. That's why I've personally spent years building up a network of professionals that I know I could turn towards and rely on. Those are the specialists in their fields who can help the owner achieve maximum possible value. How do we determine the value of the business? Well, for that, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell button, because in the next video this is exactly what I will cover. So please also do ask questions in the comments. For me, it's very important that the process is as transparent as possible. And remember, exit planning isn't about quitting, it's about building. It's simply good business.